All right, team, welcome into this installment of Mobility Project. We are going to focus on really releasing some tension if it has been from not moving or moving too much, training really, really hard. Some tension in the hips and the lower back. Pretty much the epicenter of a pretty popular area of feeling tight, sore, rundown. So those are the areas of focus. We're going to get into a whole lot of positions that we're going to hold for a few minutes at a time. Not all of them are going to be held still. Some of them are going to require a little bit of movement. And we're going to get into just those big groups and tissue areas that'll help to release some of that. So all you really need today, pad up a yoga mat. Try to make this as comfortable as possible. If you have a foam roller and a band, that is great. If you don't have a band, I'll show you what we'll use. You can just use a towel or an old sweatshirt. So first thing first, we are going to get a little loose on the quads with the foam roller. So we're going to do a minute on each quad. This is not usually the most fun, but we are going to do the best that we can to put this foam roller right in the middle of the quad, right where you can find, start my clock, right where you can find pretty much the spot that feels the worst, that junky spot. Now I'm going to use my toes to actually prop my foot up so it's kind of taking a little pressure away from the quad. That is my way of kind of giving you a cheat code that you don't have to put all your pressure on the quad right now. So we're just doing 30 seconds of just trying to breathe and relax and find that really, really meaty middle part. Don't go back and forth or move quite yet. All I want you to do is just breathe heavily on it. And right now, all we're going to do is start to keep we are going to keep the foam roller right where it is as we bend the heel into our butt. Just like that. Trying to keep the foam roller right on the same pinpoint of that middle of the thigh. We're closing in on a minute right now, so I lied to you. We are going to do 2 minutes on this foam roller. Foam roller on the left. We are going to give one leg kind of a big focus, go through a whole lot of movements after we foam roll, then pretty much start over with the same process on the other side. So just trying to get some more activity, draw the blood into that middle of the thigh, that rectus femoris. Pretty much all you need to know is that releasing this, the junky part of this quad, is going to help to really just open up what could be tension pulling on the hip in your lower back, if that's where you're feeling some tightness. If you're not feeling incredibly tight, this is still really good maintenance for you so that you don't have to go through the pain that I am in right now on this quad. All right, closing in on the last 5 seconds here, and we'll come out of that nice and smoothly. Now, I'm going to use my foam roller as a little bit of a crutch. I'm going to put this quad in a half kneeling position back pretty far, or as far as I can get it to go. So now we are just getting into the hip flexor, having a nice stretch. I'm relaxing this forearm and the other forearm on my other leg. Again, trying to get into a position that feels as relaxed as possible. We are going to hold this position for just about 2 minutes as well. So this is your hip flexor stretch in a half kneeling position. Some will call this what do they call this? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. I'm thinking in the CrossFit space, there was a lot of mobility-focused apps and programs. Dragon is a common one, but this is just your half-kneeling hip flexor position. You can call it whatever you want, but just know what you are stretching. Breathing through this movement right now is key, and that's really all I want you focusing on. Not taking it too deep into the stretch. We're going to go 1 more minute. And you can see I'm kind of oscillating back and forth. One way you can ramp up this stretch is to create enough tension in this glute to make it feel rock solid. So I'm bracing, contracting the glute, and that's going to light up that hip flexor stretch just a touch more. Go back and forth between relaxing it, contracting it, just to help get more blood flow into the area, just like the foam roller was doing for us. So getting into that hip flexor. You can also try to get a little more upright with your torso as you contract there. Last 10 seconds. Just get some more deep breaths into this area. All right, come out of that nice and slowly. You can always pause this video, rewind it, to spend more time in any of these poses. That's what I always forget to say in the beginning. So, we are going to stay on this knee in a half kneeling position again. But now I am going to pivot. So, get the foam roller out of the way. I'm going to swivel this left foot around, but the right foot stayed there. So now I am facing the camera. I am completely trying to have my torso face that way, as this thigh is 90 degrees to my right. Obviously, if you're doing it on the other leg, it's inverse. But I am trying to not let this knee cave in. I'm pulling it out to the side. So this right groin is getting a little stretch as I am going to shift and lean my body weight with the knee tracking over the toe this way. So it'll vary for a lot of us where we're feeling this the most. I'm putting my timer on to finish out just 1 minute in this position of just going back and forth through slow moving reps. I'm feeling it in this right groin, but I'm also feeling it in the left hip. So again, we're going through a whole left leg focus, as that's the one I started on. Going in and out. Now something you can do is also hold a weight right here. If you're not feeling this enough, you can adjust the foot. You can add a kettlebell, dumbbell, a weighted external rotation of the hip, a weighted lean is another way to really access some strength while getting into a flexible and mobile challenge. 15 seconds left. And we'll come out of that. Still trending on the left leg. We're going to go onto our back and we're going to go hamstring. So this is where messed up my stopwatch. This is where we're going to use the band, okay? So my right leg is going to go flat, stay there. My left leg is going to go up to the sky as I wrap this band around the foot. Now I'm going to be holding one arm, because I am holding the mic in the other. But what we're going to do is pull some tension on the band, and then toes up, straighten, bend that knee into the shoulder. Lock out, straighten, bend that knee into the shoulder. We're going to do 20 of these on the hamstring. So this is where I'm using the band. If you don't have a band, like I said, you could use a towel, a big sweatshirt, whatever you have, and do the lockouts that way. But overall, just trying to add some tension as we go through these 20 lockouts into that hamstring group. Some of us might not be able to do this with our foot as far over our eyes, or you might be able to go further than me. That's totally fine. Where you're at is where you're at, and that's why you're doing this, to get a little more mobile and just recover from whatever training you were doing. So after those lockouts, now we are going to flip it back up to the half kneeling position one more time. And now I'm going to put the area of focus, the leg of focus, in front. So the left goes in forward. I'm going to go toes up, heel down, a little bend in this knee, and then I'm going to hinge forward, kind of like I'm doing a deadlift. As I'm hinging forward, I'm thinking about pulling this hip back, getting some nice movement into that hamstring stretch, kind of flossing the hamstring group back and forth. We are also going to do 20 of these. I think I'm at 5. So again, just trying to get some blood into the area. It's the end of the day, as you can tell. It's a little dark in here, so I apologize. It's not the best day to do your taxes, but I tried. So, going through these 20 reps, we have one more on that left leg, and we're going to give that focus to the glutes. So, pigeon position. I think everyone should know this if they've done some yoga practice or other mobility practices. We are going to cross this left foot over to my right pocket. Back leg, the right leg is nice and flat as best as I can. Hands on the floor in front of us. For some of us, this is going to be good enough, or challenging enough, I should say. I am starting to feel a huge stretch in my glutes. I have been doing a lot of biking lately, so this is good enough for me. But as I start to work on my exhale, I can get a little bit lower, come down to my elbows. We're going to hold this for 90 more seconds. So, as we're doing this, if you are feeling this more in your knee on the left leg, grab some pads, pillows, whatever, bundled up sweatshirts, and just shove that under the glute area to hopefully provide some relief where you can figure out how to feel it mostly in your glute. Okay? The glute is the area of focus here. Play around with your body angle. If you have to come up higher, that's fine. Wherever you can get to in your position to feel it mostly in your glute is the goal. But you might be feeling it more in that hip crease. That's fine. Wherever you're feeling a stretch, not pain, but discomfort is good. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this today. Discomfort is what we want to try and get deeper into these ranges of motion, these long-held static stretches, and overall just loosen up the tension that you've probably created from your training, from maybe lack of movement wherever you're at in your day. Glute is the focus for your pigeon stretch. So coming in on the last 10 seconds now, I want you just to worry about your breathing even further. Do one last huge inhale and exhale. And we'll come out of that nice and slowly. So that is the sequence we're going to go through on that one side. But what I want you to do right now is rewind the video all the way to the beginning. Okay? You're just going to repeat the same process entirely, exactly the same on your other leg. So if I'm saying left, you're doing right now. But I want you to go all the way back to the beginning of the video, do it again, but on the other side. And that's a pretty brief practice just to end your day and your training session, just for a little extra care and movement and stretching that wasn't too tough, but it keeps you moving, keeps you getting the hip flexor, the hamstring, the glutes, the interior thigh all in one. So basically think of it as hitting all the faces of your quad, hamstring, leading into that glute. That's it. If you like these, check out some other ones I have on the Mobility Project. Linking it here, just giving you some other areas of focus. And as always, please subscribe to the channel so you can see some more free stuff coming your way for your performance training. All right, thanks a lot.